At the beginning of the movie, we see the story of the time when Jack and Ney'tiri along with the rest of the Na'vi of Pandora fought to save the people from Earth from their planet and after defeating them to go back to Earth. Only those people remained there who did not want to let that planet get destroyed. Jack also finds a baby girl born to his companion Dr. Grace's avatar, whom he names Kitty. All the people of Pandora believe that our life is the gift of the goddess Eva here and our every breath should be dedicated to her. Somehow Jack started living his life happily in a new way and had a total of 4 children. After the Earthlings left, they found the Colonel's son who was very young, and since the Colonel was now dead, they decided to keep the child with them and take care of him, naming him Spider. He also used to play with Jack's children only and he considered them as his family. But the Ney'tiri still thought he was the alien because he was completely different from the rest of the children. Jack himself also taught his children the art of fighting and handling weapons. Now all of them were spending their lives happily. But one day Jack sees a new star in the sky, which only meant that the people of Earth were coming back to Pandora in their spaceship, and this time they came with a lot more preparation because they had to remember their old past. There was a lot to learn from the defeat and they once again started ruining everything. After this we see an avatar waking up in the lab there, and this avatar is not of anyone else but of the same Colonel whom he had killed in the previous part. Basically, the Colonel had stored all his memories with the help of an electronic chip and put them in the avatar of a Na'vi, and this time his only aim was to capture Jack, who came to Pandora along with the rest of the Na'vi have been one used to obstruct his work. Even today, Jack, along with his men, attacks a train full of weapons and loots all its weapons. There we also see his 2 sons who wanted to act like his dad, so they too went to loot those weapons. Meanwhile, Jack's son is injured in an air attack there. But luckily nothing happens to him and Jack saves him and brings him home. There many Na'vi used to hide in the cave of the mountains because humans came and destroyed all their houses there. Jack severely scolds his son for going after them despite his refusal. Now the avatars of the Colonel and the rest of his companions reach a base. The general there tells him that Jack is becoming a problem for them and that if they want to make Pandora habitable for humans, they must capture Jack at any cost. Her army is trying very hard to find Jack, but it was becoming very difficult to find him in those mountains. The Colonel goes in search of Jack with his companions and reaches the exact place where he had died last time and where the children of the Jack had also come to hang out. He tells everything to Jack as soon as he sees the Colonel. Jack forbids them to do anything and asks them to leave quietly. Those children obey him and start leaving from there when suddenly the Colonel and his men appear in front of them and take all the children captive. Colonel recognizes Spider on sight that he is his son and he starts preparing to take them all with him when Jack and others reach there and they both hide and attack their weapons and somehow get those children out of there, manages to escape. But in all this, Spider gets caught and the Colonel takes him away. Cab wanted to take them somewhere far away for the safety of his family because Spider had been caught and he was afraid that he might reveal their address to the Colonel and the reason why he was staying there. Everyone could have died. Here, those people were torturing Spider a lot to tell him the address of Jack. But he was not ready to bow down before them under any circumstances. That's why the Colonel himself would try to convince him in his own way. He lures her out of there. Here Jack makes someone else the head of his clan and takes his entire family to go somewhere else where he can never find them, and after crossing many islands, he reaches a unique island where people could live on both water and land. Seeing him, all the people there gather there. He was also a little surprised to see people different from him, and after a while the headman also comes there. Jack urges them to allow his family to stay there, but the chief tells them that they are going to live in the water and that they will not be able to live with them. But Jack believed that those people would very quickly learn their ways and that they would very soon make themselves capable enough to live there comfortably. The chief then acquiesces and allows them to stay. The chief gives his son and daughter the responsibility to teach Jack and his family all the ways of living there. Then those people start teaching Jack and his family how to live there and start training them. In the beginning they all found it very difficult to stay underwater, but Katie had learned to be very comfortable underwater. Jack was also training with the master to ride those underwater features and he too was having a lot of trouble starting. Here Kana had come to choose one for himself with Spider so that he may not become completely one, and very soon he gets hold of one ram and chooses him. Jack's children were also slowly starting to learn everything there. One day the headman's son and his friend were making fun of the antics of the daughter, due to which a fight broke out between them. Later, Jack explains to his son that they have to live there, so they have to be friends with everyone. The next day, Rock apologizes to the chief's son by decorating and extends his hand of friendship towards him. The chief's son, pretending to be his friend, takes him to a place and tells him that people come there to hunt. When Rox was going there to hunt, everyone leaves him and runs away. As soon as Rox kills a fish with his arrow, he sees that he is alone there and everyone has left him. Then a big fish attacks him. And he starts running from there to save his life and hides himself between a stone, but then his breath starts ending and that's why he starts coming out from there. But that fish pounces on it once again and starts killing it, and as soon as it was about to kill it, a very big fish comes there and kills that fish. But Roxy's breath was over now and he starts drowning now. After a while, when she opens her eyes and regains consciousness, she finds that he has fallen on her. He thanked that vine that in the meanwhile he sees that there is an iron hook in the fin of that vine. It has happened and he goes and removes that happiness from there. Now it seems that Val and Rock have all become friends. She takes Rox and takes her to Silent where all those people were waiting for her. The chief talks about punishing his son's mistake but Rue says that it is not his fault. All the fault is mine. Hearing this, the headman's son is also there. Now becomes a real friend of Rock's. The next day, Rock tells everyone that his life was saved by a well, on which a pin was chopped off. The chief's daughter recognizes him immediately and she tells him that he is called Tukun, but whoever saw him his name is the Picken, which was ostracized because people believed it to be the weapon that killed so many Na'vi. But Rue was not ready to accept this because he had saved her life. From there, he goes straight to meet Picken and asks him why he was singled out. That Python takes him to the depths of the sea. Here, the colonel along with his companions thinks of probing each and every island in search of Jack, and after a while he also reaches the island where Jack used to live. Tortures the people there and starts asking about Jack. But no one was ready to tell him anything, so he burns the entire village. Jack was living on the other side of the same island and the headman there tells him that they have reached this island too in search of him. When the villagers do not tell the colonel anything, the colonel gets an idea. He makes a plan to hunt down Key Toucan so that all the villagers will know how powerful they are. Here, by forming a bond with Rox, he learns about why he was separated from everyone. Rue learns how the hunters attacked them and killed many Na'vi and Toucan. But everyone thought him to be the killer. On the other hand, voters use their advanced machines to kill one person very easily, and by killing him, they take out a flat from inside, using which the age of a person increases and it is also sold very expensively. Those people even throw his dead body near Silent, seeing which the people there become very sad because they considered all the animals living there as part of their family. They all angrily decide to fight the humans, but Jack explains to them that they could not win by fighting them, as they have many times more advanced weapons. The same Rox was worried about Pagan, so he goes to meet him and behind him his siblings also go with him. Going there, he sees that there is an arrow stuck and they all try to get that arrow out quickly. But only then they see that today you are moving very fast towards them. Rox quickly tells his dad everything, and Jack takes them all on his way out. They were able to get the arrow out of Pyken's body with great difficulty, but now the hunters were after them because Kana wanted to catch them and reach Jack. They all try the best to escape, but eventually fall into their trap. Colonel takes Lon and brings them to his ship, and after imprisoning them all, he calls Jack to himself. Jack starts moving towards him alone because he was calling him alone, but then suddenly Picken attacks the ship and he starts sabotaging from all sides. Seeing this, Jack and his army also get a chance to attack and they all fall on them. Here 9-3 also attacks them all and saves all the children. But in the meantime those people capture Ketty and that ship was also slowly breaking down, and while running away in this fight, Jack's elder son gets shot. And because of which he also dies. Here Jack's daughter's daughter was still alone in the possession of the colonel. Jack and 9-3 go on a rampage to kill the colonel and brutally beat up everyone on the shift. But the colonel, holding Kitty at knife point, asks Jack to surrender. But just then Na catches Spider and threatens to kill him, causing him to leave the colonel's daughter in fear. Jack starts fighting himself by telling everyone to leave. But now that ship was about to capsize completely, due to which all those people start getting trapped inside the ship. Jack finally manages to kill the colonel by throwing him overboard. But now he too was out of breath. Because of which he cannot get out. Here too she was trapped in the ship with her youngest daughter, as she too could not see any way out. Then passerby Thea comes and brings him out by showing him the right path, and Jack is also brought out by his son Rox. Meanwhile, Spider also finds the Colonel and brings him out reluctantly. Here Khan also asks to go with him, but Spider refuses to go with Khan and he goes directly after the sailor from there, and at the end of the same movie Jack hands over his son to his goddess. And with that the movie ends here.